Ooh. Oh, how's it going, guys? So, I'll wait for a few more of you guys to get in here and discuss what ended up going on today. If you guys follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, or follow me on the community tab on YouTube. So, I'll wait till you about, at least 20 of you guys are in here to kind of kick things off. And well, I jump quick. So, today, who all saw my pictures on Instagram, Snapchat, not yet on Facebook, haven't got them on Facebook, and the YouTube community tab? Anyone? Nobody? Well, we got one. So, John Deere 8RX. Yep, already seen it, already have been in it. Have not gotten a chance to drive it yet. Did not get a chance to drive it. When I was pulling in, there was a pretty large, very large operation there checking it out. Literally coming out of the shop of Plymouth as we were going in to go check it out. All I can say, guys, is it was very, very impressive. Very impressive. Our salesman claimed to not know much about it, but there was quite a bit that he was telling us about it that he claimed that he did not know. But one thing we did talk about was price, and I can neither confirm nor deny if I know anything on price. So, yes, I did see. I've got a few guys that have been sending me pictures of the FFA convention, and yeah, I did see that they've got one down at National Convention. So that's pretty cool. There was a rumor that they were going to have the 8R there also, and I've talked to some guys, and they said no, it's just the 8RX. So there will be a complete video walk around of it, along with a complete in-cab tour of the cab. It is a serial number 24, manufactured in August of this year. So literally just came off the assembly line in Moline, or wherever it was manufactured. He didn't quite tell me wherever the Tractor Works is for sure, where they manufacture them now. I can't remember if they still do that. They don't do that in Moline. That's the Harvester Works. That'd be over in Waterloo. But yeah, so literally just came off the assembly line in August and hasn't even been in the field yet. 6 hours, Waterloo, Iowa. Yeah. Harvester Works is in Moline. I believe the planter works is in Moline also, and the engine works. No, engine works is in Waterloo also. I have yet to be on any of the John Deere tours. When we were out there, when we were putting the truck bed, Dad and I, on the grain truck, when we drove through, I was 13 years old, and they would not allow 13-year-olds on the tour. No, I was just over 12. Sorry, I was almost 13. And you had to have proof of your age, and you had to show them a real, and I mean a real birth certificate, no copies, nothing. Had to be a legit, real, original birth certificate that you were 13 or older. If you did not look the age, so did not go on it because there was no reason to even attempt to fudge my age at that point. But yeah, we did not. We do not have it on demo yet. Not this year. Not going to happen this year. This is a if you guys saw any of my posts, this is a pre-production model tractor that's sitting over at Plymouth Greenmark right now. We do not have this tractor. Let me make that perfectly clear. We did not buy this tractor. We did not get this tractor on demo. So it's not physically here at the farm. Actually, Monday, when I was leaving Hamlet with a load of corn, or leaving Hamlet after I took a load of corn there, I passed it, and I was probably one of the first in the area to actually see it, and thought that was pretty cool. So I texted Matt, and I got a buddy of mine to actually beat Matt to texting me that, hey, it's over at Plymouth. So I immediately got a hold of Matt today, or whenever, I don't know, today's what, Thursday? So it was probably Tuesday or Wednesday, not Monday when we were hauling, but whatever, guys, it doesn't matter. And literally the next, so today would have been the next, yeah, so it would have been Wednesday. I'm tired, guys. I just slept for a couple hours here. That's why I would have streamed earlier, but I don't know. Just really tired. So anyways, I texted Matt today. I said, hey, any chance we can come look at it? He's like, yeah, come on over. We're not driving it yet, though. I'm like, okay. Like I said, this is pre-production and complete. As far as the packages go, it has the Premium Ultra package on it. So if you guys heard, there's 3 packages: the Select, Premium, and Premium Ultra. And this one over at Greenmark is the Premium Ultra package. So, hey, thanks, JDS, and happy Halloween to all you guys. I guess I should probably put that on there. I completely forgot about that. 31st. So we went over there and checked the thing out. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty impressive. So if you guys have any questions on it that you guys just want to know about it, or what my thoughts were totally on it, I didn't really talk at all really in the video. You'll find that out whenever I release another video here. Not tomorrow, because right now we've got, it's not really accumulating. I mean, it is, it isn't, but I'd say right now we've got about an inch of snow on the ground. So, yeah, not fun, but it is what it is. So, if you guys want to know anything about it, I can't disclose everything about it because I don't know everything about it, but I can tell you most of what Matt was able to tell me because he doesn't know everything about it yet either. So, which honestly, he wasn't even there when it came, so he's just going off of everything that came off of the packing slip and probably whatever he knows from other sources. The cab, when I first got in that cab, actually, first thing I noticed about the door handle, definitely, I mean, I didn't really think much about it until I'm comparing it back to the 8530, because that's really the only modern tractor on our farm, if you could say modern, which I say it's modern. I don't know what you guys think, but the door handle, I really like that. Positioning a door handle from up here to down here, so much nicer, way nicer. But I've got mixed feelings about the handle, about the latch. Instead of a push button like what the 8530 was, and I believe The 8Rs are like that currently. The previous two generations of the 8Rs, both the 2011 to, well, I guess you can throw the 2010 in there. The 2010 to 2013, I think, was the model end of the 8Rs, and then it went to the second generation 8Rs from 14 till present day, and then now this new generation of 8Rs, including the 8RX in this generation. I don't know if I really like that design. I like the location. The location is extremely nice. I don't know if I like the latch. I think I would almost prefer the push button because it makes it a little bit easier on closing, because I always grab the handle in order to close the door. Sometimes I will just brush my hand against the glass and just let it push and release it, from my hand, and then it'll close. But just most of the time, I will close it with my hand, holding on to the latch until it's all the way closed. But you can't really easily do that, I feel, with this door. It's going to, what I noticed today, it's just a complete latch. So when you close it, it's going to have a little bit of a force come back at you and make you almost want to pop it open a little bit so it doesn't fully close because of that full latch that you're grabbing onto. So, but when I open the door, there's like, I think Matt told me what they said, there's 25% more area to actually get in and out of the cab. And that's immediately what I noticed. I couldn't believe how much more the doors swung open and how easy it was to get in and out of the cab, especially with those steps. Those steps are angled more, so they're not steeper. They're, I should just say they're less steep, really. They're more of an angle now, so it's easier to get in and out. Really like that. It was kind of hard for me to get in and out just because I was more focusing on filming when I was getting in and out of the cab. So I didn't really get too good of a chance to look at the handrails there. But I'm going to try and keep up with you guys here in the comments too. Price, like I said, we talked price. Actually, to be honest, guys, Matt didn't know anything on price. Nobody knows a single thing on price yet. Prices, I believe Matt told me, aren't supposed to come out till December. Production for these tractors will start in April. I believe it seemed kind of odd to me that they already have some of these out already, and production is not going to start. I think what he told me was April 2020, and sales or orders will not take place till next December, I believe. I believe that's how he phrased it, because it seemed kind of odd to me. I thought they would have already had models available back in April, but considering that this is a pre-production model off the line in August, I would imagine what he's saying is true. That production will not start until April 2020, and then orders will not take place until December 2020. So I imagine, that April to December period, that's a good opportunity to get some demo time in. So there is a possibility I might be able to get a demo from Greenmark on that, possibly. I'll just have to stay on top of Matt on that. Inch of snow, get the snowmobile out. Don't have a snowmobile, and I honestly hope the neighbor kids don't get that idea. My uncle is a dealer and said they've been testing it for 5 years now. Really? That's really interesting. Did you see the big tractor power video on YouTube about the 8RX that he took at a Western Kentucky dealership? It's not Hutchinson. I can't remember exactly how you pronounce that dealership, but yeah. I watched it. I did not watch the premiere, but I did watch it. We still run a John Deere 4620 along with our 12-row planter. I have a 6190R. Have to open the door again after you shut it for the first time. Never shuts unless you reach halfway down the door. That's what I started noticing with our 8530. It doesn't want to latch as good. Now, I did not close this door from the inside. Matt was standing there. He was explaining a bunch of this stuff to me. I did not film that because I didn't know really how much I can reveal at this time. So I was just going to do a walk around. I did want to film some of the stuff Matt said, but I just, again, did not know how much I could disclose or what he could disclose in a video. So I didn't want him to A, get in trouble, and two, B, I didn't know what John Deere's allowing to be disclosed at this time, because there really isn't much out there about it, as far as what you guys saw and what I saw in the YouTube video that John Deere released in the RFD TV highlight 30-minute segment. So I did not do that. I just wanted to do a walk around of it and didn't really talk specs on it. I know BTP did release specs or whatever on it, or at least whatever he saw on it. I mean, I know all he's doing is just repeating whatever the John Deere YouTube and RFD TV segment said. So, I mean, I just didn't think it was that big of a deal. And plus, most of you guys are going to watch my video that I'm going to release on it. You guys are going to be hearing, already know what these specs are. So it's no point in kind of reiterating it again. So, and it's not going to be a complete separate video. Like I said, it's just a walk around. So you guys will end up seeing it in the next harvest video. So, or whatever next vlog I decide to do. But yeah, back to that. Yeah, I noticed that in our 8530 a couple times in the videos. You probably have seen it pop open, not completely, just like scare the crap out of me and pop open or come off the latch halfway. And yeah, I don't know if it's just the latch mechanism on there or what, but yeah, I'm starting to notice that on our tractor too. Not so much on the outside, just on the inside, like closing it. But what do you think about the new foot pegs and where they are located? Honestly, I don't know. I didn't actually attempt to use them because I imagine Matt wanted me to, or Matt's trying to keep the tractor as clean as he can. Actually, after I left, he had one of his guys wash it. And shortly later on Facebook, I saw, because they haven't even drove it yet. And shortly later, he sent. I saw a picture of him that he took on Facebook, or posted on Facebook that he took of him driving it for the first time, and he said it was pretty awesome. So I kind of wish I would have got there around 3:30 his time instead of 1:30 his time, because then I would have had a possibility to get some driving footage for you guys. But most of you guys have already seen Big Tractor Powers videos, so not too big of a deal. Not talking politics in here, guys. Not talking politics. But the foot pegs, I didn't try them out. The seat was actually raised up, and actually I didn't really have time to sit there and adjust the seat. My feet were actually sitting off the ground, which I was like, why in the world is the seat so high up in the air right now? But I didn't take the time to mess with it. I feel the foot pegs would be kind of nice, just kind of looking at them and realizing, okay, this is where I kind of put my feet in the 8530. I feel the foot pegs are going to be extremely nice. One thing I did notice, though, was I couldn't believe, so say if I'll show you guys that way. It's going to be backwards for me, but it's going to be like perfect for you guys. So say I'm driving along and I want to look behind me, and I am looking towards, this is the what would be the right side of the tractor for you guys. So I'm turning around, the implement's behind me. How much the seat will swivel, literally, I would say about that much, almost a straight 90 degrees, almost. It's unbelievable, the visibility that you can see in this tractor compared to the 8Rs. What's the price going to be on it? We talked price, and like I said, Matt didn't really know anything on it because I said, he's told me that the prices for this for these 8Rs and etc. all really the 7Rs and the 8Rs isn't coming out till December, and we talked maybe around the 470 range, but I would not be surprised if it's around 500, honestly. I wouldn't think it'd be over 550 or even 550. I think 500 would be, I'd say about 525 would be the max in my opinion. But Camzo tracks on it all the way around. I mean, most guys know that John Deere's partnered with Camzo at this point, but does it seem like it would not turn? Honestly, if you guys have you seen has anybody? Well, I know some of you guys have. Go check out Big Tractor Power's video. They did some turning in what appeared to be a pretty soggy gravel driveway, and the berming, like what I discussed with two tracks, did not really occur at all, like virtually none. It was unbelievable how little to none it tore up that driveway. And in all honesty, guys, I would love to have that kind of a track, not just because of how cool it is. Hey Jay, I really appreciate the $1.99. I really appreciate it. We got Cole the Corn Star in here. How's it going, Cole? But yeah, I couldn't believe how little it tore up the driveway in the video. But when I checked it out in person, honestly, the lugs on those tracks are not as deep as what I thought they would be. The lugs are, I would say, about 3/4, 3/4, 2/3. I would go with 2/3. About 2/3 of what a regular two-track lug is. And you guys, if you guys have ever been around two-track lugs, those lugs are fairly deep, and they are nowhere near. Like I said, they're probably about 2/3 the depth of a two-track lug. So I think that's where the less tearing up the ground would come from then, so that they're going to have less to grip onto, which that would be really interesting. One point that Dad and I were making to Matt was, why isn't there a ability to put weights on the rear axle there? Because what we were wondering was, when you get into that 8410RX model, is it really seriously going to be able to put that much horsepower to the tracks, to the ground, on that size of a tractor? So that's why we were wondering, why wasn't there like a weight option on the back? But Matt did point out to us those cast pieces on the tracks back there were probably one of the, well, on the RX, on the 9RXs at least, those are the biggest and heaviest pieces of complete cast that John Deere makes today. So maybe that's where all its weight's going to come from, and maybe it's just really deceiving on how much weight or how much it actually weighs. I think Matt told me it weighs in with that full set of weights on it, and I think it has what? I think it had the 18-inch tracks on it. I didn't even take a chance to measure them, but I know Grandpa did. I'll have to ask him what he ended up measuring them in at. But I think he said it came in on the packing slip, or at least a spec sheet from from when they delivered it. Packing slip came in at 46,000, and I think Grandpa heard wrong, because I actually wasn't there talking with Matt. I was actually at the back of the tractor looking at the clearance around the 3-point, how that is slid out and away from the tracks. So that is really nice. And the bit, like, being able to work around those tracks, like literally you can walk straight up to the axle if you want to, without even trying to walk around the 3-point. You can just walk straight up to the axle on the back. It's unbelievable. And the ability to work on this thing, I mean, put it this way, you can work around everywhere on this thing. It's unbelievable how much clearance there is everywhere on this tractor to work on stuff, because it's inevitable. Someday you're going to be working on it. So, but the clearance, it's 12 feet wide, the way it stance is right now. And I think, at least from what Grandpa said, I highly doubt it's this high. Dad and I assume 11.6, but Grandpa thought he heard 13.6, which it seems pretty high. I mean, that we would literally not be able to fit that in the shop at all, like legit not be able to. But I'm positive it's 11.6, not 13. How do you like it compared? Yeah, how do you like it compared to the new AFS Connect cab? Doesn't even compare. This thing is like in a league of its own. In all honesty, it's unbelievable. Do you like the new position of the globe on the top of the tractor? So one thing Matt and I talked about, because actually I got to call my AMS guy tomorrow, because tomorrow is, well, technically it's today, but I think he's extending it for me one last day because he knows I want one. Because you guys know that we run a 3000 and the 6000. I bought the 6000 globe this year with the 2630 display and full RTK activation along with the auto steer activation. It costs about $30,000. But one thing I wanted to do this winter, but I may end up just going ahead and doing tomorrow, is I want to update our Starfire 3000 to a 6000 because in the next couple of years they're going to go away with the 6000s, and I'd rather be ahead of the game on that in order to on some rebates that you can get or discounts, etc. Which actually tomorrow, what I have available to me, my AMS guy said that they have a $750 coupon code that he is able to use directly from John Deere in order to give me $750 off trade-in on a trading into 3000 for 6000, but I still have to pay for, I think it's like the $250 activation transfer of the RTK, moving from the 3000 to the 6000. So one thing, speaking, this is why I was kind of tying this all together here with the RTK. One thing, you guys know there is the globe, and on the back of it, if you guys run RTK, whether that be RTK 450 or RTK 900, depending on your area, we run the 450. But anyways, depending on your RTK, it's still the same. It's still same little box. It connects to the back of the globe, and it has that antenna. Where would you mount the RTK? All it is a little hockey puck, literally, or a little dome or flat pancake on top of that cab. But one thing Matt and I talked about, and he brought up a very good point on that first when he brought it up. Where in the world are you going to mount it? Because you look it on the back of that hockey puck or that pancake, literally, because there is absolutely no mounting points. Now, there is a way to mount 3000 and 6000 globes on there. But my point is, if it's already got an integrated display, well, it does have integrated displays. But if it already has an integrated globe, why in the world would you want to mount a 3000 globe or 6000 globe on a tractor that already comes integrated with a 6000 globe? Now, what I'm wondering is, if they went to an antenna-less technology, meaning that they don't even need an antenna anymore, and the antenna is literally built inside that dome or pancake, whatever you guys want to call it at this point, and it's already integrated in there, and all it is just an activation. Or, like if you want to say when you buy this tractor and you're trading in, say, an 8370R that has a Starfire 3000 on it with RTK 450 on it, radio. When you trade that in, they'll just take that activation and take that activation of the RTK and transfer it onto this tractor, and you don't even have to worry about it then. I'm thinking that's what they're going to do, or what they will do, or that's the plan, because I'm guessing it's already integrated. So I don't know. Time will tell on that. That'll be interesting. I'm not sure how much longer us farmers are going to be able to work on tractors with dealer coming out on a dumb computer. Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping that my buddy of mine that's working at Greenmark, he'll end up, just keeping his computer on him And I can just say, hey, I'm having this issue. Bring your laptop out, because I don't know, you'll do, I feel, quicker job. And you know what? I'll pay you half rate what Greenmark is, and have you come out and work on it. But we were just joking. So, I can't really talk about that, and confirm on that, or, you guys know what I'm saying. I can't really talk stuff like that, but, we were joking, if you want to say. But still, there is technology out there that allows you to be able to do that. And, you guys know the lawsuit that's going on right now, or what really the status is of that lawsuit or whatever, of being able to work on our own work on our own equipment. John Deere says it's proprietary stuff and they should be the only ones to work on it. But okay, you paid 400 and what for that tractor, and I'm not allowed to plug a computer in and look at it myself? In my opinion, it's wrong. It's stupid. And if I'm perfectly capable of, running a computer, and I don't know, I mean, you guys see my computer that I built and stuff, but I mean, that's nothing compared to what most guys are able to do. It, I don't understand it. I don't know. It's dumb. I don't know. Base machine weight of a new RX looks to be about 43.3 according to John Deere's website. So John Deere already has specs out on this. I haven't been on John Deere's website all day today. I've been waiting to see. Oh yeah, there it is, Deere.com. So I've been waiting on the build your own website to kind of play around on pricing on it. But like I said, it's not going to be unveiled then until December. So there's really no reason to sit around here and wait. So tractors in the 8 family have up to 200 fewer connection points and fewer potential leak points. One thing also, reading this article here on John Deere's website, a new decal was added inside each tractor's hood panel with regular service and maintenance points clearly identified to make these tasks easy to perform. That is really cool. You guys will see that in the video. That is one thing BTP did not highlight. That's the one thing I tried to do, was highlight stuff and show you guys stuff that I know you guys want to see, because, literally, yeah, it's a cool tractor to me, but I was analyzing that thing from front to back, top to bottom, looking at how they designed this, just considering that we run an 8530 and looking at what they improved, they're improving off of the 8R, but I know what the 8Rs look like. So really all I'm doing is comparing, okay, I know what the 8530 looks like because we own one, obviously, but then I know I have a general idea, and I've been around a little bit of the 8Rs, and okay, cool. Small town farmer, I guess that's your opinion. So, but anyways, talking about, I completely got off track here, but talking about the maintenance points there on the side of the panel there next to the fan, that was a pretty impressive thing that they added. You don't really think about small stuff like that. Now, the 9400T on those side panels by the radiator and stuff, when they swung open, on either side they had maintenance intervals and stuff like that, and all the maintenance points. So they kind of had that. But then I feel like with the 8530s and the 8020s and stuff like that, and even the 8Rs, I don't think the 8Rs have it, but we'll see. I'll just have to check that out and check into that, because I don't think they had that. At least Matt acted like they didn't have it, and I was pretty impressed with it, seeing that on the 8RX at least. So. Is there a 4-track combine out there? Right now, Mudhog offers a 4-track option. It's rear-wheel drive with tracks. So, yeah. So do you like the new position of the globe, or do you prefer having it in the middle of the cab since it is like the iconic look of the John Deere tractors? Kind of got mixed feelings on that. I kind of like the globe, but I feel with having it integrated, it's pros and cons there. I mean, you can honestly have, like, what if you have issues with that? What happens? Obviously that John Deere has to come out and fix it. Whereas with the globe, you can always update, go to a newer globe or something. I mean, what happens when John Deere goes to, say, a completely newer globe than the 6000? What happens? I mean, honestly, guys, what happens then? It's integrated. I mean, what? Is there a way to unscrew that globe? I think, there should be. But take that off, put a different styled globe on. I mean, in my opinion, I like the integration idea. It's smart on John Deere's part. It helps people get into auto steer a lot easier if you're not already have any experience or want to be or kind of want to be in auto steer but don't really want to have to pay for it, but not realizing you're pretty much paying for it when you pay for the tractor, and then on top of that, all the activations. So, but yeah, it's got its pros and it's got its cons. I almost like the idea of still keeping the globes, which I know they will, because if you guys know their equipment market right now, it's all within the used equipment right now. I mean, look at the amount of parts they sell. Look at the amount of parts any dealer sells. It's unbelievable. Oh yeah, that's true, Buck. That is definitely true, Ben. I joked with our dealer today that, man, this would be a cool replacement for the 4650, but no way in the world would I ever be able to afford this brand new. Hazelton, I really like her 4650. I've got really not too many complaints about it, in all honesty. I mean, we've got ours turned up to about 230 right now, and it gets the job done. I mean, I'm not not impressed with it, but I don't know. If you really think about it, you really don't own the tractor. They can technically just take the tractor over remotely. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't even really think about that, but yeah. When's the 8RX video coming out? Within the next 4 days. That's when I will have another video coming out. And my printer's talking to me again. Don't know why. Any thoughts on Lexion combines? A neighbor of ours has one. He just got one. I don't even know what size it even is. And my thing with Lexion combines, I would not want to own one because if I need parts, I'm definitely going to be down at least 2 days or a day, just because of part availability. There's really no dealers around here whatsoever. There's a literal drop box, and I think the drop box is, for all my Indiana followers out there, if you guys know where the drop box is for sure, I believe the drop box for Challenger and Lexion is down, not by Kokomo, I think around the Monticello area, which isn't too big of a deal, but my point is I've got all my John Deere dealers right there that I can run over to, and most of the time, they have the parts I need. So unless it's something oddball that we break, which occasionally that happens. So I know that happens with everybody. Why do really large farms replace their tractors and combines every couple of years? Does old stuff repair cost justify just buying new every couple of years? So what they're doing, I'm not going to really get into it too much, but what they're really doing is they're rolling their equipment. Sometimes some of them might not actually be paying for that in regards to like a complete full out cash buy. They could just be like uh, have it on like John Deere Financial or whatever and just pay for or whatever you guys want. Just have it on a plan where they're making payments on it and they'll just roll those equipment or roll that equipment every other year or every year or every 2 years. So they're basically trying to stay ahead of the payments. I guess you can. It's kind of hard to explain, but they're just rolling their equipment. A lot of guys do that. We prefer never to do that. We'd rather be able to own the equipment and then be able to sell it. And instead of when you go bankrupt, you literally don't own anything. So, or that's the same, looking back on that, it's the same thing with leasing. So you're not building equity. When it comes down to it, if you go bankrupt, you don't own any of your equipment and it all goes straight back to John Deere. So, you have a Klaus dealer, sorry. Klaus, honestly, guys, I honestly do not know where our closest Klaus dealer is. I haven't really looked at that. I know some of you guys were asking me about, would we consider running a Klaus combine? I would demo one. I wouldn't want to run one, like I just stated why, it's just part availability. But I wouldn't mind demoing one just to see what it's like. Favorite thing on the farm? Most everything. There's a few odd jobs that none of us like to do, but everything pretty much. Do you like the new windshield wiper on the right window on the 8RX? So what did they do to that? Because honestly, I didn't really look into that too much. I know before, didn't they have that on the 8Rs? I'm positive they had a right windshield wiper on the 8Rs before, but did they modify it or something? Because honestly, I'm not trying to bash your comment at all. I just didn't look at it, so I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, that's a good idea, Michael, because honestly, our combine's paid off right now. So right now, we could take this and go trade it off if we honestly wanted to and go to a different machine. But yeah, so we're not going to be doing that, obviously, but we could run this for three more years if we wanted to, and then trade it off and step into a machine that's more our size, like a 780. Like a Class 8 would be our ideal machine, guys. I mean, you guys know that. A Class 8 would be our ideal machine. So, before I go any further, let me shout this out for you guys so you guys can go like this. If I can find the link for you guys here. Give me a second. I want that link. And right there. Nope, that's not what I wanted to search. What in the world? There we go. So I'm going to post a link on here real quick and tell you guys before we continue here. And please go click on that link and vote for my picture for the DTN My Harvest 19 photo contest. I would really appreciate it if you could vote for my picture. We need to get at least 260 some likes in order to at least be considered in the first or second contending spot. So if you would, please jump on there. There's 62 of you guys in there, so hopefully at least some of you guys can jump on there and like that picture for me. I would appreciate it. So back to the comments. Do you like the new, we already talked about that. Favorite thing done? Lease program. So what do I think of the lease program, Keith? Or, oh, I see what you were talking about. Yeah. If you had $1 million, what would you buy for the farm? That's a pretty good question. At this time, we really don't need a combine. You know, that's not like a need or a must. See, two things in our philosophy on our farm, what we believe in. You don't want to skimp on a corn planter or a planter in general, and you don't want to skimp on a combine with heads in general. Why? Because those are your two literal sources of your income on your farm. You know, obviously, in order to even be able to be considering to make a profit on a farm, you need to have a planter. And in order to be able to have a legit profit on a farm, you need a combine. So those are literal two philosophies, what we believe in, that you do not want to skimp on any form of a planter on your farm. And, oh, I'm at 20 on the picture. That's awesome. And any kind of a combine that is suitable for your operation. So when you guys sit there and say, you guys bought a 690 though, that thing sucks the fuel. In our opinion though, at the price we bought it at and the condition that it was in, why spend more money and step into a higher demand of a combine such as a Class 8, since Class 8 seems to be, at least in my opinion, I don't know what you guys think, Class 8 combines, in my opinion, are the highest demand combine. Why? Because, everybody, I feel, fits that Class 8 size perfectly. And, when you look at a Class 9 or think of a Class 9 or 10 combine, what do you guys think? You guys think mega operators. You think of the, I'm not going to say any names because I already upset one, not in our area, but if you guys read the comments in my videos, you guys know who I'm talking about. But the mega operators, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, I don't know, even 60,000 acre farms. I'm not bashing you guys at all by any means, but I mean, that's pretty much what Class 9 and 10 combines, what you think of, fit, those operations. You don't see many operations of that size running, 12 770s. Yeah, there are some out there that do that. There's custom harvest operations that run, Class 7 combines. I mean, in all honesty, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that is perfectly fine. It's the same thing with our operation. We farm 1,700 acres and farm a custom harvest 1,000 more acres. So we're technically farming roughly, I guess you can say, 2,700 acres with a Class 9 combine. But the only reason why is because A, we got it for a good deal. 2, it was in awesome condition and you couldn't really pass it up. I mean, I guarantee you, every single one of you if you were in our situation, you guys would have done the same thing. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. How do you know what class John Deere combines are in? That's a good question. It's kind of hard to tell in the older series. Well, not really. So take our 9650. The 6 in that combine stood for Class 6. In my opinion, it was like a Class 5.5 combine, Class 5, Class 6. It's easier to tell on these new ones. So say 660, 670, 680, 690. The 6, 7, 8, and 9 all stand for the class number. So ours, being it's a 9, it's a Class 9 combine. John Deere does not have currently a Class 10 available for purchase at this time. I know there is a Class 10 combine floating out there, though. So I did not know Mercedes engines were in Qual's equipment. Did not know that. To be honest, I did not know that, guys. I mean, our philosophy isn't a planner. You do not need to go out and buy a planner every like 3 years. Why not sit and upgrade it and build your planner better? Better. In my opinion, our planner is just as good, if not better, than a brand new planner today. Why? Because of the modifications that we've done to it. Honestly, I'm not comparing our planner to a Deere 10-mile-an-hour planner. That is ridiculous because we do not have the options in order to compete in that kind of a market. But if you take a standard John Deere planner, if you compare our planner to just a baseline John Deere planner right now, in my opinion, John Deere or our planner would outperform it. Now, in the coming years, now that, standard equipment on a, baseline planner is now electric drives, hydraulic downforce, vacuum metering system, then you're starting to pull away, and John Deere's starting, or any baseline planner now starting to outperform our planner because A, we don't have V drives, B, we don't have a back system, C, we don't have Delta Force. It all boils down to options, guys. That's what most guys don't sit and think about is options on a planner. I mean, most guys just buy a planner and say, awesome, I'm set. We like to sit here and analyze stuff and look at what can we improve? What can we do to improve our planner in order to get more performance out of it? Because guys, that is where yield is coming from. You are setting your yield when you drop that planter in that ground. So just my 2 cents for tonight. I know I really took off there for a bit, but this is what you guys enjoy in the stream, though. So with that, I guess we'll continue on planners. Yeah. I guess for those of you that want to know our specs in our planner, front to back, we're running a 1770. I mean, you guys have seen it in the videos. We run the row cleaners, the Yetter row cleaners with the clean sweep option on it. So we've got precision planning tech on it. In my opinion, what do I think of the exact emerge versus the precision? No experience on the exact emerge, so I don't know. But as of right now, I like the precision planning. I like the setup. So Dilly, it all depends. I mean, if you take all the upgrades, that you put on, say, take all the upgrades that, if you take a planner, baseline planner, take ours and take a baseline planner today, with the same options on it, or literally no options on it. It's just a basic planner, just like ours, just a newer version. They're going to plant the same. It's literally going to plant the same. Yeah, the frame's probably going to be a bit nicer or heavier built. But in all reality, guys, what have they changed? No, what I'm saying is you factor that out. You take a baseline planner, with no options like that. Before John Deere started adding all the tech. Baseline planner, or even any company, baseline planner, compare, they plant the same. Then when you start adding options, it all depends, what you're going to add on upgrades. When you bring up that T, that already outperforms ours. Because we don't have consistent depth control as consistent as what that's going to be. With Air Force, we get close to that, but it only adjusts, I think, every 9 feet? And that's a huge, huge jump. If you're back here and it wants you to say drop an inch, or not even an inch, but, put so much downforce on or even up pressure on, by the time you move, no, it's in 9 seconds. 9 seconds, not 9 feet, sorry. 9 seconds. You travel, say, we planned around 5.5 mile an hour with the 4650. When you travel 5.5 mile an hour in 9 seconds, think about how much ground you are covering in 9 seconds. And this is what I'm just talking about in Air Force. I'm not talking this is what's going to happen with Delta Force, because obviously Delta Force is actively adjusting. Air Force actively adjusts, but it's every 9 seconds. 9 seconds. Like I said, guys, 5.5 mile an hour, think about how much ground you were traveling in just 5.5 mile an hour. Say 10 mile an hour. You'll have a high-speed planner. More than likely, you have Delta Force on that planner. But what if you have Air Force? 10 mile an hour in 9 seconds. Think about how much ground you were covering in 9 seconds at 10 mile an hour. That's insane. You are not getting that consistent, uniform emergence then that comes from having even inconsistent downforce. Just my 2 cents for tonight on downforce. That's definitely true, Travis. See, that's why, I get some guys on here that say, oh, was having starter on a planner, your frame's going to rust. Now, if you keep it clean, yeah, you will see rust. Don't get me wrong. You will see rust. It has fertilizer on it. I mean, what are you going to have? You're going to have rust on it. Oh, no. Maintain your planner. Keep it clean. Winterize it. Do your part to keep it clean and maintain it. Maintain it so it will be everlasting. Now, I'm not saying it's going to last forever, but if you maintain it, it's going to last the life of, or at least most of how long you want to keep it. Just my opinion. I'm not saying that, I'm going to plant at 10 mile an hour. I'm just saying that John Deere supposedly has the capabilities to plant at 10 mile an hour. I'm not saying that we're going to go off and plant 10 mile an hour because we don't think of it as a good idea either. So, what toy show is that? The one in Winnemac? I mean, Grant, I hope you're not calling me stupid because, like I just said, I don't have any intentions on planting 10 mile an hour. I'd rather, again, slow down and do a good job. That's the same yeah, okay. I was going to say, but, it's the same thing going back to a 40 versus a 45 Draper. I'd rather slow down instead of run 5 mile an hour because I can, with a 690. Okay, I can run 5 mile an hour. You guys telling me, oh, I can run 6.5 mile an hour with a 35 foot. Are you looking behind the combine? Because in my opinion, you're going to be really pushing on those beans. The sickle's only going to run so fast because it is designed to run so fast. At that point, are you pushing beans over? Because I imagine you are. That's why we only run 4.5 mile an hour in beans. We've run 5. I was running 5 with that 40 foot. But, Dilly, that's a hard question to answer. I mean, it all depends. I mean, we run 5.5, and we get good singulation and everything. But, I mean, it's all personal preference, really. I mean, it all depends on what type of metering system you have. I feel with V drives, we could probably run. I mean, at one time we can run 6 mile an hour. We can pull 6 mile an hour with that 4650. But I mean, it's really all depending on seed size and what kind of technology is really on your planter. Because obviously, you're not going to go take a stock 7200 and just drop it in the ground and go at 8 mile an hour. I'm not saying that we're going to plant at 8 mile an hour, but in my opinion, my ideal planting speed, in my opinion, would be between 5 and 6 mile an hour. So as long as I'm getting good drop and good singulation and keeping my population consistent, et cetera. But with V drives, you're not going to have that issue. So, oh man, guys, we are really, really getting into it tonight. Not like between you and you guys in the me and you guys in the chat, but just like we're really getting into good info tonight. If you look at these older cars, if you look at them after they run long, can still work just as good as the. Yeah, I totally agree on that, Speedy. We never we have a 45 McDon. We would never buy 40. My point exactly. I mean, if you have the capabilities, if you have the fields, if you don't have the hills, if you feel you're going to be perfectly okay with a 45 and over a 40, in my opinion, it's more efficient. Some guys argue and tell me it's not efficient, but why run as hard as you can? Also, I'm going to cycle back to combines after this too. Why run as hard as you can, when you can slow down a little bit, get a little bit more threshing done in that rotor, do a little bit better of a job, spit less out the back. I understand, I can adjust it at 6.5 mile an hour. Okay, whatever. All well and good, but in my opinion, you are still running over beans. Just my opinion. So, but I'd rather slow down, run 4 mile an hour with a 45 versus running 5 mile an hour with a 40 foot. Now, don't get me wrong. Running 5 mile an hour with a 40 foot, you can get a lot of beans done. But in all honesty, guys, in my opinion, I feel you can get the same amount of beans cut with a 45 running a mile per hour slower and doing a little bit better of a job threshing, in my opinion, and getting a cleaner sample than what you do with a 40 foot. Just my opinion. Exactly, Michael. Exactly. That is exactly right. Especially when we're doing custom work. I'd rather show the owner that we can do a quality job versus quantity. Rather show them that. So, back to combines then. Why run a Class 7? I hope I don't offend anybody on here. Why run a Class 7 combine? Run it as hard as you can possibly go. Max that thing out. And I didn't even know this, neither did Dad, not till a couple of years ago, that there's a literal buzzer on a combine that literally tells you, what? It's like I wouldn't say it's a kill switch buzzer, but more like the maximum capacity in regards to power reached on a combine in regards to literally almost stopping the rotor and stuff because you're running it so hard. I did not know there was such a thing on a combine, put it this way. We've never run our combines that hard in order for that to happen. But I guess there is such a thing. So why run a Class 7 as hard as you can go when you can just step up into a Class 8 or hence get a good deal on a Class 9 and not have to run it as hard? Exactly, Speedy. Exactly. Yep, that's true. And see, the thing is with a 45-foot head, when we're cutting beans, all those beans are going into the elevator. We don't have any bean storage yet to this day on the farm. Is getting help a problem for you? Right now, we don't have, I shouldn't say up until now, we didn't really need any help. We were pretty much able roughly to do it all of ourselves between Dad, I, and Grandpa. And it would be nice, though, to have another guy, if not two, out here with us. Exactly, Brad. Exactly. And running that machine less strenuous than what you would slowing down or running as hard as you can then. So, but yeah, we will be getting. I know one of our landlords, I believe, is coming out to help us. So that'll be cool. I believe next year when he retires. And then we have a neighbor that he's kicking around the idea of coming out and working with us out here too. So that's cool. He actually hunts some of our ground too. So what do you guys think? I mean, we really dived into it there, went pretty deep on stuff, talk about combines, talk about planters. What are your guys' thoughts? I mean, I know some of you guys have been posting on here a little bit, but just in general, what do you guys think? Get a 45. Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah, I totally agree on that. Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing, Dilly. We can take our upgrades off our planter, move them onto a newer planter, and gee, we've got a newer planter that, the only reason why I would want to go to a newer planter is to increase our efficiency by going from a 16 to a 24 row. That will increase efficiency. That's why I want to go to a different planter. That's, in my opinion, why you should go to a new planter, is to increase efficiency, unless you absolutely have to go to a newer planter. That's my opinion. If you're going to a different planter, you should be looking to increase your efficiency. In most cases. Hey, thanks, Travis. I appreciate you watching. Yeah, it is snowing. I don't know if it's still snowing now. I imagine it probably is. So we've got at least roughly an inch. Yeah, an inch. 1982 4650 is what we plant with on the 16 row planter. The 8530 is on the grain drill. Why? Because it's way more fuel efficient than what the 4630 is, and we just don't want to take the time to move everything off the 4650, including the infurrow tank, and move it onto the 8530, because Dad would prefer to plant with the 4650 at this time. No, actually, in the 10-day, it's not going to be warm at all. It's going to be down in the 30s. That's the thing also, Pierre. It's not. It is a 26-foot auger, and we figure, what did I say in the videos, guys? If any of you guys remember, I think it was, 15 inches closer that we would run, because we added an auger extension on our 9650, and when we put the 35-foot draper on there, we added that auger extension. And if we were to leave our auger the way it is, right? I'm looking at the combine right now, guys. That's why I'm looking over here. If we were to add an auger extension onto our combine right now, or not even touch our auger and put a 45-foot on it, we would run, I think I said, 15 inches closer, I figured in the video, I believe, because I sat down and figured it with Matt that day, and we would end up running 15 inches closer, I believe, to the head when we're dumping on the go, and 15 inches closer than what we were running when we ran a 9650 and a 35. That's tight. And you guys were commenting before how tight we ran. That's tight. That is very, very tight. So I know the new combines all have 28-foot augers, or at least you can order them with 28-foot. So my thought is just to pop that boot off, put a 2 or 2.5 foot, whatever they come in, 2.5 or 3 foot extensions. I believe two or it's one of those three that I know that they come in for sure. But the only reason why, I know some of you guys got confused, I wasn't asking if you can do it or what the options were to do it, like if there even is an auger extension, but I just want to know who has done it, because I just want to know if it's possible, have with issues, if it's possible without any issues, because in my opinion there shouldn't be, but probably John Deere doesn't recommend it. That's why they don't say to do it, but whatever. So no, at this time we are not, but you guys will see a video on the 8RX I took today at our dealership later in the next at least no more than 4 days. So yeah, that's my opinion right now on that. So if we were to do that, we'd need an auger extension on our auger. Best of luck to you, TW. I really hope you get some good opportunities here in the future, and you're able to expand. College or no college for me? What's your opinion? I did the no college route, but I did do college online for 3 classes, and I've only done 2 out of the 3 because really those are optional. Um, they're not mandatory, it was just, hey, you can do these classes. So I just did 2 of them. They're $2,000 each from Purdue, completely fully online. You don't have to go down to the campus at all. And I liked them. Like I said, I still have the 3rd one to go, but I'm just not. I haven't had time. Because like I said in the past streams when this question's brought up, the class is a 12-week course, and it falls during either harvest, planting, or the middle of summer. So 3 busiest times of the year. That kind of sucks. So that's why I haven't really taken the time to take, the last class. What would be the next newer tractor you would get? Good question. Very, very good question. So next tractor, in my opinion, that we need to update. Really, what I see is we have 2 options in regards to a tractor upgrade. 2. Take the 4430 and the 4630 and combine those down to 1 and go with a 6 series or 7 series, like a 7210R. Because what I want is a tractor that, we can put the 20-foot batwing mower on. We can spread fertilizer with like the little co-op spreader, and be able to have the loader on it. Duals aren't really a must at that point. Duals, we could have the duals. We could buy a 7210 or 7230R with duals, take the duals off, and not even use the duals. I mean, why do we need to have duals on a tractor with a loader? You don't necessarily, depending on applications, what you're trying to do. Especially in the applications you're going to be doing with it, or at least for us, loader, mower, spreading fertilizer, and the occasional odd job. That's my opinion, guys. I feel we have option A there to do that, because in my opinion, that would be pretty efficient for us, for our operation, to consolidate 2 tractors down to 1. Because at this point, you guys know the 4630 has literally done nothing this year. I mean, it's been on the grain drill, for a whopping 70 acres a week. Otherwise, the 8530 did it all this year. The 4430, you guys know what the 4430 does. It's a literal loader tractor. And most of you guys know what loader tractors do. They sit around most of the year until you need them. So my opinion is the 4630 also spread fertilizer, on that 70 acres, which I did. And when I used it on the batwing this year, that's literally all it's done this year. We've probably only put 35 hours on that tractor this year, to be honest, guys. 35, 40, if even that. 45, I would say, at the most. And I've put 300 hours on the 8530 since we've gotten it over a year ago. Over 300 hours. So it's just amazing to me how many hours we put on. Really me, because nobody's really drove it, to be honest, guys. That 8530. It's amazing to me how many hours I've already put on that tractor. So in my opinion, if we can consolidate those 2 down to 1, like say 7210, 7230, in my opinion, would be perfect. That way, not to say, the 4430 can't pull the grain drill, or the 4630 can't pull, the 4630 can easily pull the grain drill. You guys know that. But, if it needs to be put on a grain drill, it can. That way it's able to do a wider variety of jobs. It's one tractor that can do the jobs of both of those tractors. That's my opinion. Option A. Option B, get rid of the 4650. I hate saying get rid of. It pains me to say that, really, guys. I don't like saying that, but, or 7260, like Jay said. that'd be a good tractor in my opinion. No-till. We do vertical till our ground, but like I discussed in the last video, we are not trying to disc. We are trying to literally just scratch that surface and break up that residue. We are not trying to till the ground. So that's why I still consider us a no-till operation, really. I'm guessing you guys dairy then, Jay? If you put that many hours on a tractor? Yes and no. Our cart can hold almost 1,000 bushels, so I'd be kind of. I mean, you could put a 260 horsepower tractor on it. I'd feel a bit more comfortable than having a 4650 on the cart, but I would still rather have the 8530 on the cart because option B, in my opinion, is replace the 4650. Replace is a little bit better than get rid of. Or yeah, Michael, you guys can. That's the other thing I was going to bring up. Where you guys can almost consider a minimal till operation then. But yeah, so going back to that, option B, in my opinion, would be, which I would. It's really a toss up in my opinion on what option we should take at this time. And yeah, 4650. I mean, it's nearing 10,000 hours, I believe. It's nearing it. So, but yeah, it needs to be updated in my opinion. So, but yeah, so that would be option B, is to go to replacing the 4650 with a 8R 300 horse plus hour, 300 horse plus tractor, not hour, just tractor. So what would we go to? Ideal replacement is sitting down at Maury's right now, an 8285R for $124,000 with 70% on Firestone tires, with singles in the front, duals in the back, no front duals. Used. We buy our tractors used here. We're not spending money on. As much as I would love to sign my life away on a brand new 8RX, I'm not. But yeah. But yeah, back to that. Yeah, they've got an ideal, literally spitting image ideal replacement. I feel 8285R would be an ideal replacement for the 4650, or even an 8260R, or even an 8245R. 8245R would be a horsepower per horsepower, in my opinion, close matchup to the 4650. If I had to choose between a 2 or 3, I should say 8245R, 260, and 285. I would go with 285 just because it has more power. But in my opinion, looking at the long term, I would go with either 335, a 345, 360, or 370. 400's out of the question because obviously, guys, those are too new and definitely going to cost a significant amount more than the lesser horsepower 8Rs. So that's my opinion. Preferably, I would rather go with a 345, 360, or 370. 335 would be kind of my last option. Why? Because just looking at the future of our farm, I want not necessarily that a 335 couldn't handle a 1,300 bushel cart, because that's like saying the 8530 can. It can, no problem. But, say if I want to go to a 35-foot vertical till, which this is something I actually wanted to look up tonight also, guys. Because a lot of you guys ask, why don't we run a larger vertical till, or why don't we run the 4650 on a vertical till? We did once. I ran it on 60 out of like 69 acres, and I had to quit because literally I felt like I was doing more harm than good, especially to the tractor, because it's like that literally took every ounce and more of what that tractor did not have. And it takes 8 to 10 horsepower per foot to pull that vertical till. So easy math on that, you were talking at least 240 horsepower, because our vertical till is 30 foot. So that's 240 horsepower And like I said, our 4650 is turned up to 230 engine horsepower, or PTO. Well, there is a difference on that, but I believe it's, if I remember right, it's PTO. But yeah, so if you think about it, you know, you don't have enough power. So that is why we don't run. Now, some of you guys say, well, why don't you run slower then? Yeah, you could run slower, but it's still going to pull hard. So, but yeah, let's look at horsepower requirements. I wish I could show you guys this. I need to seriously sit down and get OBS running for you guys. That way you guys can see what I'm seeing here on my screen. But right now I'm looking at the GPM, Great Plains Manufacturing Tillage Catalog spec sheet for all their equipment right now. TurboMax, we run a 3000 TM TurboMax. And PTO horsepower requirements, they recommend 300 plus horsepower. So if I'm right in saying that we have it turned up to 230, 235, which I believe is kind of pushing it, 230 PTO horsepower, obviously right there, guys, we have not even gotten close to meeting the limit or minimum right there. So, but if you look at 40 horse and a 40 foot, you're looking at 80. So if I were to ever run better, the more acres you're going to be able to get done then. So it's just common sense there. So in my opinion, someday I want to go to a 35. 40 foot, in my opinion, you would need an 8400R. Yes, you could take an 8370R and turn it up, but in my opinion, in order to have that little bit of wiggle room and horsepower, I would almost rather go to an 8400R or even go to like a 94. What do they make, guys, in the R series? What is the lowest horsepower R series that they make? 9R series, I should say. Got any ideas, guys? Otherwise, I'll just look it up real quick. $9420R, 370R, 360R. Well, if it's asking for, or calling for, I should say, for 380 PTO horse, at that point you're going to be wanting a 400. Well, that's right there, guys. Get an 8RX. No, I'm just kidding, guys. You at that point, like a 9420R wouldn't be necessarily out of the question. But in my opinion, if I had the choice between a 9420R and a 8R8, it's kind of hard to say these new 8RX models, but 8410RX model, I just got to get used to saying that with the RX on it now. An 8410RX, I would run a 40-foot vertical till on it. So that's a good question, Dilly. So I'll go ahead and repeat that. So when growing the farm, are you guys looking to grow in size with more tractors and everything, or just looking to upgrade everything and stay the size you're at right now? Both. Well, not really stay the size we're at right now. I want to go, like I said, right now we're about, we farm ourselves 1,700 acres. And then on top of that, I have 1,000 acres of custom work. Someday, I feel, if everything falls into place, we will be running about 3,500 acres. I could see us running close to 4,000 acres someday. Do I see us getting an 8R soon? Within 5 years. So back to that, I want to do. I want to answer. I can answer about 2/3, or say yes to about 2/3 of your question. I want to grow in size with more tractors, and also upgrade everything what we've got. I'm not. A lot of you guys, or some of you guys on here, are saying, "Oh, you're not fortunate." No, I'm looking at the long term and looking at our current equipment lineup and saying we need to update our equipment in order to become more efficient. So, that's like, that's the same thing in our area too, Missouri farmer. It's just hard in our area to gain ground, and plus it's like a dogfight every time when a piece of ground comes up because, uh, especially with all the specialty crops going in our area and a lot of the larger operations around us that are a lot larger than us that do specialty crops and can swing irrigator payments a little bit easier than what we can. So funny that I don't hear you say anything about buying more land. Well, Gerald, I kind of just stated why, and it was just because that it's a dogfight literally to get ground. And land, exactly, Roy. Land is expensive. I was just going to say that. When we look at the land price in our market right now of being $8,000 to $12,000 an acre, it's kind of hard for us as a corn, soybean, and wheat farmer to kind of swing $8,000 to $12,000 an acre ground without having specialty crops to kind of support us. So that's my opinion. So, some of you guys might disagree with me on that, but, we're not raising 300 plus bushel corn on all of our ground. I hope I don't offend anybody when I say this, but, we don't have Illinois ground. We don't have Iowa ground. We don't have central Indiana ground. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's ground that will sell for $6,000 to $7,500 an acre too in our area, but that's like slim to none because even the sand is not worth that. But if you can put an irrigator on it, or if it has an irrigator on it, boom, your value just went sky high because you can raise seed corn on it, you can raise tomatoes on it, you can raise depending on where you're located, mint. It's all the specialty crop market. See, it's all about location. And that's true. That's the same thing. Cheaper the ground, more likely the worse the ground is. Yeah. Yeah, you're talking $12,000 an acre. So, if you take 100 acres, at $10,000 or $12,000, you're talking 100 or not 100, 1 million. Just do the math. I can't even think right now, guys. Can't even figure the math right now. It's easy math, but I'm just tired, guys. You're talking you're talking $1 to $1.2 million. And I don't have, what in the world? Another spam email. I don't have that kind of capital just sitting around. We don't have, you can finance that, but, I'm not ground hungry right now. I'm perfectly content with running my ground and, running it from landowners and developing a relationship with tenants like that or landowners. Yeah, exactly, Roy. It's all depends on that. Yeah. Exactly. That's why we're not like jumping all over ground like that either, So, yeah. Are tracks better in your area or duals? Like Matt said today, that 8RX has LaPorte County road all over it. Not to say that we have wet ground, but just looking at the specialty market. You guys saw in the videos that it's somewhat designed to be a specialty crop tractor, but I would run that tractor on our farm just because of our no-till situation, and that weight distribution would be a lot better with tracks and duals. But I like the duals. But well, it's really wherever you want to put your money at. What's harder to get, land or tractors? Like new tractors, I see what you're saying, but you got to weigh your odds or your where you want to put your capital at. if depending on how much working capital you have to play with, if it really all depends what you want to invest in. I mean, if you got a good lineup of equipment, why do you need to invest in equipment at this time if you feel that you don't need to even worry about upgrading or investing in your equipment lineup? So then you can take that working capital and pour it into land. But vice versa, if you're at a sufficient land acreage that you feel you're at, but you want to increase your or invest into your operation in regards to your equipment lineup, then you can pour that working capital from the land that you acquire, from that you get off the land that you have, and pour it into new equipment. But in my opinion, like what TW says, it's land. It's harder to swing, 100 acres at $10,000 an acre. I'm not saying that we got hundreds of 100-acre fields around here. We've got 40-acre field. Our average field size, I would say, is about 50 to 60 acres. Yeah, ground's expensive. Ground's expensive, guys. Oh, man. So we are an hour 31 into this stream, and we are, like, cranking through this stuff right now. Yep, current market price sucks. I mean, I wouldn't say it's, like, to the point where you can't make money, because we can make money at 350. I mean, it's not we would prefer not to have 350 corn, but we can still make a profit. Our margins are really tight then at 350 corn. But the biggest thing is, guys, when corn price drops like this, most guys cut fertilizer. Funny thing is, we don't. We actually increase our fertilizer, or have been. Our fertilizer usage, or our fertilizer fertility program, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever you personally call it. Over the past, 7 years, really, we've increased our fertilizer. And, a lot of guys skimp on lime. We don't. You should not skimp on lime, because once you throw your pH out of whack, there goes your nutrient. You screw up your complete nutrient uptake then. That is huge then. I've heard the name, Jay. I don't know if I know him personally or not. I've heard the name, though. Yeah, I mean, we cash rent. I mean, about 2/3 of our ground's cash rented. Yeah. I'm perfectly fine with that, as long as we come to an agreement that's suitable for the owner or the landlord and suitable for us. That way we can have the ability to make some money. How do you see the corn market? Bullish or bearish? Good question. It's kind of like, I don't want to throw politics into it, but it's kind of like that, if you guys understand, like, the Democratic versus Republican scaling, you got your independents in the middle, you got your you got your inner Republican, inner Democrat, you got your Republican and Democrat, and then you got your far right and far left. In my opinion, in order to kind of put the grain market on a bullish bearish scale in regards to that, I'm going to kind of stick on that bullish inner scale, that's going to be slightly bullish, if you guys can understand what I'm kind of saying there. So, because I can see the corn price going up. It's hard to tell when, it's going to, I feel we're going to see some fireworks here in the market. Not soon, but I feel around that February, probably not, well, not really February, because really, guys, it's either going to happen in January, which I highly doubt, but I imagine we're going to end up seeing, when it comes time and we end up seeing total production really get tallied up, it's going to happen in June. Normally a lot of the times we see fireworks at the tail end or the beginning of June, really, so. Yeah, I mean, some of those guys are actually like 5-generation farms. So, I mean, it really all depends on how long you've been farming. I mean, we've been farming since 1960, and I'm the third generation. You know, in my opinion, the way I look at it is Grandpa's built the farm up, Dad's just continuing to help build it. And in my, and we're not going to, I don't see in my third generation, Grandpa was able to justify new equipment for the most part in early times. We bought the 4630 new, we bought the 4650 new. 4430 was not new, I believe. It had hours on it when we got it. It was used, I believe. But in dad's generation, being the second generation of the farm, we went away from buying new equipment, obviously, because of price scaling. You guys know, it's insane what new equipment costs. But do I see being able to buy new equipment in my generation on the farm? It's hard to tell, guys. I mean, really, it really all depends. In my opinion, at 1,700 acres, it's hard to justify larger used equipment. I mean, it really all depends. It's not, like I said, it depends on, it's so many factors come into this, guys. Like the 690, I kind of just contradicted myself by saying that by, looking at the 690 right now, or the 8530. Both of those are paid off right now within a year. That's just because of how we were able to swing them in the operation. But, it really all depends. Right place, right time. We've been buying a lot of stuff on auction right now because there's a lot of good deals out there on auction. But I feel right there, Riley, 15 to 200, 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000 acre farms struggle to make equipment decisions, in my opinion. Exactly, because you don't know, you're either stuck where you want to be at, in that 15 to 2,000 acre farm, you don't want to grow, which, okay, if you don't want to grow, then you just need to look at your equipment lineup and say, okay, what is going to be self-sufficient for my operation? Or, in my opinion, in order for us to be able to start swinging equipment purchases easier or better, we need to be running about at least 2,500 acres. In my opinion, some of you guys, it all depends. It all depends on your area. It all depends on what you're raising. Corn, soybeans, and wheat in our area, in my opinion, we, on our farm, need to be running at least 2,500 acres in order to become more or easier to be self-sufficient. I mean, we are self-sufficient, don't get me wrong, but in order to be able to swing equipment purchases better, in my opinion, we need to have more. It makes sense. It's scaling, guys. If you want to be able to swing equipment better, you just need to have more ground. Not necessarily go farm everything, but if you can rent ground at a reasonable price, it's going to be reasonable for not only you, but also for the tenant or the landlord, whatever, that's going to be huge for you. So that's why I want to run. I wouldn't want to run any more than 4,000 acres, because in my opinion, that's where, you get into having employees. And in my opinion, that 3,800 acre range would be perfect for us, I feel, especially with having hopefully two guys coming out to help us. But don't get me wrong, in order to in order to prepare someday for having that type of ground, hopefully someday, if we get the opportunity I'm not saying it's going to fall into our lap, but more someday have the opportunity of having that size of an operation, not saying it's all just going to fall into place in 1 year, but, ease into it someday. Because, I mean, we had our operation built up to close to, we were farming over 2,000 acres. We were farming 2,500 acres. We were farming close to 3,000 acres at one time back in the 80s, long before my time. But now look at us. We're down to 1,700 acres. It happens, guys. We lose ground, we gain ground. It happens. But, so, I don't know. Oh, so you're Tyler Pearson. Okay, yeah, I remember you on Facebook. Do you see a high-speed disc fitting into your operation someday? Honestly, I would love the demo one because it would be interesting to see how that stacks up compared to a vertical till, because I understand that's going to want to disc more, and I feel that's going to be a little bit too aggressive for what we were trying to accomplish with the vertical till. So it'd be interesting to try and demo one. So that way, I don't know, like Zach's setup that he's got right now on demo. At least I believe it's demo currently again. Um, bring out a RX with a high speed disc mat. I don't know. I don't even think he even watches the live stream recaps at all, like goes through and watches them. But, Matt, if you are watching or happen to be watching, bring me out an RX and a high speed disc, because really I wouldn't mind trying one out to kind of compare it with our vertical till. Not to say that John Deere makes the best high speed disc, because I have no idea. I imagine what you guys believe that Diegelman makes the best, because usually the original developer or designer of equipment like that, such as Diegelman being with the high speed disc, is usually the better uh, option to go with. My grandpa was over 10,000. My dad had 5,000 of that. We were down 3,500. Now it happened a lot. Yeah, it just happens, guys. Yeah. Yeah, high speed discs are everywhere, becoming more popular. It's really interesting how fast that market took off in the past 5 years. Because really, Diegelman was pretty quiet about it. I mean, it was there, but as soon as Kenzie hit the market, immediately John Deere within a year had something. Case, I know, will have something eventually. It's just a matter of time. Have you guys used many AGCO products? I guess you can say, since AGCO owns Precision Planning, yeah, we use quite a bit of Precision Planning stuff. We have a lot of the high-speed discs in our area for fall tillage. That is going to be huge, I feel, for a lot of guys for the high-speed tillage. So, yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be really nice, Riley. Well, I don't know how long we're going to run this stream. I mean, we really dove into a lot of stuff tonight. I think you guys really liked the stream tonight. So we'll probably run it for 2.5 hours. Right now, it's about almost an hour 45. So we got about another 45 minutes we'll run this stream for, and run it for about till 11:30, I guess. So let's keep this up, though. Post some more good discussion topics that you guys want me to talk about. I'm just going to check my phone real quick here. What time do we get to the farm? Varies. I mean, tomorrow, we're not going to hardly do anything. We're going to run around and get pro boxes probably tomorrow. I highly doubt we're going to haul corn. Normally, we don't haul corn, especially when they're sold out on the road. So I imagine we'll just wait till like Saturday or Sunday. So, actually, the elevator had to shut down. They ended up closing today because of the high winds, and they were afraid the electric was going to blink and they were going to plug the legs. So they ended up shutting down or closing for the day. So that was fine by us because we were over in Napanee picking up a easy switch sensor for that south bin, because I think I mentioned in one of the videos that sensor for the dryer to switch between the south bin over to the north bin for the dryer isn't working. So we kind of had our doubts on if it was going to be working or if it was working at the beginning of harvest. So we messed with it a little bit, but we thought it was working. At least it was working, but now pretty well quit. So we're just going to replace it and get that fixed. No. Grant, you probably made it in a little bit or caught in a little bit late to the live stream here. By the way, is there anybody watching that's at the National FFA convention right now? If you are, please comment. So, yeah, you probably got in a little bit late to this, Grant, but we discussed that it's just because of our dealer locations. There virtually isn't a Klaus dealer around. They've got Dropbox, I believe, for parts down around Kokomo, Monticello area. And in my opinion, parts and service and etc., is a lot better with John Deere. So we're just going to see with John Deere. But what time? 6, 7 o'clock. So most of you guys that probably do livestock are probably like, really? It's like, well, we don't do livestock, so Logansport. There we go. I was kind of in that vicinity, but couldn't quite put a pin on it. So yeah, John Deere pretty much copied that. Yeah, 8RX is down at convention, and 2020 AFS Connect Magnum is down there too. Hey, Casey, how's it going? We have between 18 and 1900 acres. We could grow 5 different crops like corn, beans, wheat, peanuts, and cotton, and want to expand to 4,000 acres. But hard to do when people don't change their ways. Yeah. Probably about 3-4 years ago was my last time at an FFA convention. Ever consider Ideal or Gleaner? I don't like the design of either of those, and it could just be because I'm so accustomed to a rotor machine on the Deeres, but I really don't like the looks of the rotor on the Ideal. I really do not like the rasping elements on there, or the rasp bars, I should guess you could say. I really don't know if I like the looks of that design at all. So, but I guess if I could demo it, be an option I could look at. But again, it comes down to parts and service availability and stuff like that. And John Deere, in my opinion, second case in this area, because there's more John Deeres in our vicinity than what there is case dealers. So that's why we run John Deere equipment. So let's get this stream up to 100 likes, guys. We're at 71 right now. Yeah, that'd be a good Class 7 combine comparison there, Riley. Really good comparison. In all honesty, guys, I'd love to run tracks in our combine. I'd love to. Tracks would be ideal. But the closest we're going to get to tracks is with these singles, so we're not going to spend the money to replace or go to tracks. So I really hope, Grant. We're growing really slow. The views are coming in really slow too. Okay. I think it was back in 2000 was the last convention I was at. I was receiving my American degree. So funny thing you should say that, Roy. I should be down at convention right now receiving my American degree also, but the reason why I did not go was because I assumed we would have been harvesting right now, and I did not expect us to get snow, in all honesty. I expected us to actually be harvesting right now. So technically I should be down at convention right now getting my American degree. But I planned on us running right now, but we're not. So I guess it is what it is. I mean, to some, it's not a big deal. To me, it's necessarily not too big of a deal, but I kind of wish I was down there getting it. But it is what it is. I'm not upset about it. But would you demo an 8250 case combine? Yes, I would love to try a case combine just to see what it's like. Yeah, so Saturday, yeah, that's the day when the American degree ceremony is, and more than likely we will be running on Saturday. So, yeah, so that's why I'm not going to be down there. For those of you that are wondering, it is nice for us because we have an AGCO dealer about 6 miles from us, and they have always been nice to us. Main reason why we use AGCO products. My neighbor has an S680 combine sitting in half harvest cornfield. Hopefully, he finished soon when weather clears up. Hello, how's it going? Doing pretty good. Really, Hitler. Interesting. Sorry, I've been asking so many questions. I just found you and I love this channel. Hey, put it this way, Lucas. Ask as many questions as what you can or as what you want, because this is what these streams are designed for. I'm doing these streams to be able to answer as many questions as what you guys have, or as many questions as I can that you guys keep asking, because that way, when it comes to the vlogs, I'm not going to be able to sit here and be able to do this like I am right now. And with these streams, I'm able to one-on-one with you guys a lot better than what I can in the vlogs. So, drove from South Texas. Lots of crops still in the field up there or up here. So, yeah, there's a lot of crops. Actually, in our area, it's actually pretty good considering when we drove over to the Napanee area. There's a lot of crops over there. There's probably only 25% of the crops harvested over there. And in our area, I would say there's about 65% done. Case combines are the only good things CNH makes. Yeah. Well, I can't really say yeah, but I don't really have too much experience with Case at all. Hardly any. I'd like to try a New Holland T8 435. That'd be interesting to try. What's the biggest difference between y'all's old combine and the new one? Capacity. That is I would say, the biggest. There's a few things. Capacity, technology, and overall fuel consumption with horsepower. So all of those insanely more. So we have 600 acres of corn left. Beans are done. We've got over 600 acres of our corn that we need to run. We've got 110 acres over on the custom work there for Marv. We've got 20 acres of his that we need to run, and 45 acres of our beans over in Stark County to run. Those were the beans I planted into the wheat. That's pretty much how it is in our area, but we're pretty much going to be one of the last ones to finish up, just mainly because we were kind of under the gun to begin with on getting started on harvest. So I would imagine we're going to be done before Thanksgiving. Dad and I pretty much sat down and figured out today how much corn we need to haul out in order to get the bins completely full for harvest and be done. So it's quite a bit of corn that we got to haul out. So we'll be talking to our local elevators and probably Cargill here to see what they can do in quick bids. Yes, 100% of the custom harvest work, I should say, we do for Marv it's all Marv's. But we do have a 90-acre custom farmed field. There's a difference between custom farmed and custom harvest. Custom harvest, we're just doing the harvesting, and the 90 acres that we custom farm that I include in that 1,700 acres is, we do that from start to finish. We do all the planting, spraying, side dressing, and harvesting for him. So, but all the custom harvesting we do is all for Marv. So. Yeah, the new 8R series is pretty cool, Lucas. You need a few more bins. So, like I said in the past couple of streams, guys have, when we talked about grain setups, it's all we really need to go to having a 60-foot bin for corn. So what we are wanting to do is, at least what Dad and I really want to do, I think everyone needs to have more bins. True. Definitely true, Lucas. We would want to go to, or at least Dad and I really want to go to, Go to having another corn bin, so a 60-foot, at least 100,000 bushel bin, where the 36-foot bin is. That 20-ish thousand bushel bin. Move the 20,000 bushel bin on the north side of the 42,000 bushel bin. Make the 42,000 100 plus thousand bushel bin, whatever we decide to make it, at least 100,000 someday out there. Preferably, I'd rather have like it close to be 200,000 or 250, but you can always add more rings. Anyways, and also we would possibly have to update our legs, make them go a little bit taller. But if we decide to go 250 someday, but that's way down the line. But anyways, move that 36-foot or 20,000 bushel bin onto the other side. You need a Larson Farms green setup. That is a really nice setup. That is an extremely nice setup. But anyways, move that bin on the north side of the 42,000 bushel bin. Increase the capacity on that to about just over 30,000, because I believe you can only go up to 13 rings on a 36-foot diameter bin. And that I think is about 38,000 bushel then. And then make that a bean bin. That way we have bean storage. Because right now we only store corn, 62,000 bushel corn storage. And then we would have at least 142,000 bushel of corn storage then, depending on what size 60-foot bin, or even if we go 60-foot, we might go 54. So yeah, we would love to have a nice bin set up, but haven't justified the price yet. We don't have a dryer, and we're harvesting 20 to 24% corn right now. Yikes! That is not good. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Bradley. I appreciate it. So be sure you are subscribed to the YouTube. I will have an 8RX video coming out here very soon, within 4 days, and so I will have that out here soon for you guys. And harvest, hopefully, will pick back up on Saturday, hopefully. But what I would really like to have is to replace our dryer and go with a Nico or AGI AGI Nico dryer, and go to 1,500 bushel per hour dryer. Because right now our current dryer is 400 bushel, and I would love to have a 1,500 bushel. So at least, ideally, I'd rather have like a 2,000 or 3,000 bushel dryer, but that's all money. So someday. So the new 8R series will be starting production in April of next year in 2020. Orders will not start till December of 2020. We're building a whole new grain facility because our old 80s setup doesn't keep up with 250 bushel corn, and we want to store beans and other crops. That our setup is from the 90s, mid to late 90s, our current complete setup. So someday here we're going to have to get a little bit better of a setup. So so what does Larson's actually run? Do you have any idea, Riley? Because I don't know if it's a Nico or grain handlers. And we have natural gas. And I know that design, of like those Nico dryers with the pyramid style. Well, not really pyramid style, but you understand what I'm saying. The grain flow efficiency on those dryers is a lot better, and especially they're a lot more fuel efficient in regards to the traditional screen dryer or compartment dryer. So give the stream a thumbs up if you enjoyed the stream so far. We are closing in on the 2-hour mark. We're going to run this stream for 2 hours. So they have 2 grain handler 24 by 16, and he can do 5,000 bushel in an hour, removing 10 points. That's impressive. But if you look at the capacity, yeah, you got 5,000 bushel capacity. Their dryers can hold what? At least 5,000 bushel of corn there. So that's impressive. I'm always looking to pick up ground, in our area. So if anybody from our area is watching, I'm always interested in looking to pick up ground, put it that way. So business inquiries, contact info is listed below. You guys can shoot me an email, but that goes for any of you guys, not ground related. Really, it's just in general. If you guys have any personal questions you want to talk to me about the farm that you don't want to ask me in the live stream, which honestly I haven't checked my email in regards to that email lately, but sometimes a lot of that will go to my spam. So if I don't reply right away, that's why. So actually, I'm going to go through and check my spam real quick just in case if there is any emails from any of you guys in there. Yes, I do play FS19 on PC. Not as much as what you guys may think I do. I jump on there every once in a while, but nothing crazy. So okay. Well, I appreciate it, Matt. I would definitely rent ground from you. Rent ground from Cirrus. I believe rent is like, I don't know, 300, 350 bucks an acre rent from them. So no, not really gonna work for Cirrus. So I would rather be able to develop a long-lasting personal relationship with a landlord versus working for Cirrus. My new rule with grain is being able to retract from any bin and fill any bin with the leg. That's a good idea. Well, we are up to 87 likes. Let's see if we can get this up to 100. Single player, mostly. I've jumped on a few servers. I hardly ever go on a server, though, so... but yeah. So Kyle, I know a lot of you guys probably want to know about this too. Kyle, more than likely, will be in the stream tomorrow night. He actually was going to jump on tonight, but he goes to bed a little bit earlier than what I do, significantly earlier, because he gets up a lot earlier than what I do to get in the semi and go trucking. So he gets up around, I believe, 3:34. We farm in south central Minnesota. Everything was planted late. Our last beans were planted June 8th. Crops still look okay, but in mid-July we had a big windstorm come by and had some green snap. And our Geringhoff head has done good. That's good to hear in regards to your Geringhoff head doing good. Not good to hear about, obviously, crop conditions. You know anybody that crop share rents? Right here. Well, I guess you could say we kind of do. What we do on the river farm, and I'm not going to really disclose it too much, it's split 50-50 with the farm manager. So we've got there's a farm manager on that farm, on that 300 and some acre farm, and we split that 50-50. So would you do any specialty crops if you had the capability to? I wouldn't do tomatoes because tomatoes is a lot of work. I hate to say that, but I mean, it's just way too much work in the market in our area. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Lucas. Lodge corn. Sorry, I screwed that up. But yeah. That still kind of goes on around here, Riley, a little bit. It really depends on, how you want to run the renting in our area. But going back to the specialty crop idea, I would consider doing seed corn, but my opinion is on seed corn, I would rather be able to raise 250 plus bushel corn on our ground with us doing it ourselves instead of getting a guarantee of 200 and some bushel per acre corn. So I mean that's just my thought. So no on seed corn really. I would consider that possibility, like as a possibility though, but definitely no on tomatoes. It's just too much work. But it really all depends. We're looking at getting into the cereal rye cover crop market in regards to selling some. So I've been kind of poking and prodding at some neighbors, just kind of getting a feel for how many acres they run on cover crops. Some actually run upwards of almost 2,000 acres of cover crop, which that's going to be like double what we run, and that calls for a significant amount more. If you put on a bushel to the acre, which what we do, you're talking 2,000 bushel of cereal rye, which it's a lot of cereal rye. So, in my opinion, if we take one of our 40-acre pivot fields, and instead of planting wheat under it and shooting for 125 bushel wheat, why not swing 75 bushel rye and shoot for 75 bushel rye under those irrigators and swing that and make more money by selling the seed? Just my opinion. So that's what we're considering doing. And I think Dad kind of wishes we would have done that this year instead of putting 40 acres of wheat under the irrigator and did 40 acres of rye, which I told him we should have done it. I told him long before we were considering planting wheat there. I said, you know what, we need to take that pivot field after the tomatoes are out and put rye on it and raise 70 to 75 bushel rye. So that's my opinion. I mean, my opinion is you can make more money planting rye and selling the seed than what you can planting wheat and selling it to Cargill. So, my opinion. I know our wheat market's a little bit better than what it is out west, but significantly better. It's about at least $1 better. So where exactly are you located, Riley? I can't remember. Are you located up in South Dakota? Because if you're wanting to try canola, I believe you're located up in that area, if I remember right. Right, you're up in the Dakotas, right? Because actually, a lot of cereal rye, Jacob. We have gone from watching Brett Young to watching Werner Farms. Who's better? Well, obviously, it's me. Obviously. But yeah, actually, my FFA chapter, my previous chapter that I was in high school, who's my sister is actually in right now, who's down at convention. She went and saw Brett Young with my previous chapter tonight. So, yeah. But yeah, so back to the rye. There's a lot of cereal rye that comes out of Canada. Actually, they grow a lot of annual ryegrass and cereal ryegrass up there. Great idea. We run 400 acres of pumpkins. A good way to grow is finding your own niche market. See, I kind of saw this coming in the past couple of years. Dead central Minnesota. We have ground that's 20 miles west of it. That's, of course, sand. If you listen to second episode, Oh, that guy. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Because yeah, he was talking a lot about irrigators and stuff. So that explains to me why we've always talked between you and me on online outside of live stream here, between you and me, Riley, on irrigators and such. Really, you can't grow canola in Western Oregon. That's interesting. That's weird. Um, yeah. So back to the niche market idea. I kind of saw this niche market coming around as we got into cover crops and started saving seed. I've always thought of the idea of why don't we sell cereal rye? Yeah, cereal rye. It's a little bit easier, in my opinion, to obtain higher yields of rye than what it is wheat. So why sacrifice or pour more input costs into wheat where you can pour a little bit less input cost? What would FFA think if we grew hemp on our school fields? Oh God, that would not be good. um, but yeah, you could have a little bit less input cost on rye, make more, in my opinion, money on rye by selling it at like say 8, 9, 10, $11 a bushel. That's where I want to someday get a grain coiner. So So we are at 89 likes. We are 11 likes away from 100 likes. So let's see if we can get this stream up to 100 likes, guys. So be sure that you are liked and you've got this stream liked. You've got the post notifications on, and you are subscribed to the YouTube. Be sure to like my DT harvest picture. I just linked it below. We need to get up to 200 and some likes on that to be considering in the top 2. So hopefully we can get there, guys. I would really appreciate it if we can. I know with the amount of guys that are in here all the time, we should be able to get there, but hopefully without any issues. Here is my Instagram for those that want my Instagram. You guys can follow me on there. It's not a capital W. Sorry, it's a lowercase w for those that are wondering, but it should be fine. And then here is my Snapchat. You guys can add me on here. You should have sponsored part of convention. I don't know what I would do. So we're gonna close this stream down at 11:30. Oh. And if you guys have any other discussion topics you guys want me to talk about, feel free to post them in the comments here and we'll talk about them. I'm just going to check my phone real quick because I seem to get a ton of messages here during live streams. Ideas on the 8RX. That's kind of what we talked about in the first half of the stream, Jacob. But I really like the design overall. It's a really nice design. Cab is extremely nice. Well, you've already seen it. You were the one sending me pictures of it at conventions, so you kind of got your idea on it too. So I don't really have to talk too much about it with you because you've seen it in person. It's really nice. One thing that we were talking about though is the RTK going to be integrated onto the globe? Because it doesn't seem like there's really a good spot to mount the RTK antenna on the integrated globe. So what I at least was proposing is that they have the RTK radio integrated onto into the integrated globe. So just a thought I had. Otherwise, I want one. I think about half of America's U.S. farmers want one too, or at least those half of John Deere. Well, really, just we'll just run with half of John Deere, half of U.S. farmers out there. 9 likes away, guys. Let's get this up to 100 likes. I'm going to try and get OBS working tomorrow, possibly. Actually, I should kind of work on that right now for you guys. Kind of get this ready for you guys, because I'm hoping if I can get OBS running tomorrow and Kyle ventures his way over here, his long 2-minute journey over to the farm here, that I can get OBS running and we can look up stuff online and really have a better stream than this. I know you guys really like these kind of streams that I do with the one-on-one with you guys. I really like them too. But I feel with the one-on-one, by being able to browse online and show you guys pictures and stuff like that, we can kind of explain stuff better and talk about stuff a lot better. So right now I'm just actually working on getting this downloaded. So does not capture any video a source. Okay, back to the live chat. How's it going, Serge? How much longer you plan on keeping your current grain cart? Next year, I'm hoping, depending on how YouTube goes, we'll see. Maybe next year I'll work on updating it, because personally it would just be me updating it, because the farm right now does not plan on updating it. Front boom sprayer. More visibility of the nozzles, in my opinion. I would rather go to a front boom. The new hoods on the 8RX are going to be available for pulling tractors. That was the most important question of the day. Really? So you were asking John Deere personally if the hoods were going to be available for pulling tractors. That is awesome. That is literally awesome. How's the new shop / office? So it's just an office with half of the 64 by 36 buildings an office, and half of the office side portion of the building is half office, half meeting room. And then the other half of the building of the 64 by 36 building is a 2-car garage. I will have an office tour after harvest, but before Christmas for you guys. So be sure to like and subscribe this stream. Be sure to have post notifications on for the channel, and make sure, like I said, you are subscribed. Make sure you do like the DTN My Harvest 19 photo for me. I would really appreciate it if you can. I'm going to work on getting OBS somewhat set up. That way tomorrow night I can kind of hopefully have this up and running for you guys. I might have a couple of test live streams tomorrow, so don't freak out if I start live streaming around anytime during the day tomorrow, because you guys know I always stream at night or in the evening. So if you see any of my streams called test 1, test 2, whatever, test OBS or whatever, those are test streams, and I'm just working on getting OBS set up. That way we can kind of have a little bit different style of a stream. Any purchases, upgrades coming for the winter into the spring? Possibly. I can't really disclose anything at this time because we're still kicking around the ideas of stuff. Not to say it's going to be actual farm equipment, but also possibly maybe irrigation equipment. So Who knows? We'll see. Really? So that's kind of what I figured, that they haven't had everything totally released yet. Like literally not everything's out on the table yet. I imagine there's a lot of technology that's going to be rechanged. I imagine the Gen 4 displays aren't going to last too much longer. In my opinion, the Gen 4 displays were kind of almost like a guinea pig trial leading into something a lot bigger and better that's going to be coming. So I'm still waiting on OBS to download here. Instagram's completely blown up right now because of the stuff I posted on my stories of the 8RX. Here comes the debate. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I will answer that. Really? What in the world? River? Really? Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I had to check something on Instagram. So, in your opinion, would you lean more towards a Deere or McDon? McDon. I hate to say it, guys, but I really like the McDon head still. A lot less maintenance. Why can't Mexicans play Uno? They steal all of the green cards. That is good. That is good. Serge, you're getting beat on the jokes tonight. I don't get much time for YouTube, but I enjoy my time with you. Hey, I really appreciate it. Make sure you are subscribed, TW. I have a lot of good content on here and a heck of a lot more content to come. How much are these new 8Rs? Did anyone inform JD or current corn bean prices? Oh, our corn. Yeah, I see what you're trying to say there. Yeah, at least 470,000, I believe, or at least the 8370RX, I believe, is going to be coming in at that. So, hey, Adam, how's it going? Want to join our pillow fight? It's kind of hard for me to join in on a pillow fight that's at least 2 hours away from me. How's harvest coming along? Doing good, but currently have an inch of snow on the ground, so we'll see. Let's get this stream up to 100 likes, guys. We are 7 likes away. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Michael. I appreciate it. Tape is being used. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Hey, send me some Snapchats of that, Jacob. How's the yield? Yield, amazing on the irrigated ground. Probably some of the best yields we've seen on our irrigated ground. But the dry land is going to be subpar, if average at best. Okay, so OBS should be done downloading. I'm not going to get OBS running tonight. Maybe, I don't know. I might play around with it a little bit. So, welcome to OBS. Let us download this. I want to put it in programs. Well, oh god, I thought you said weld or well. I can't even talk right now, guys. Wow, irrigation. Yeah, wow, irrigation must be expensive. I've heard they cost in the millions. Depends on the irrigation size, Adam. Really, it costs only about $1,600 an acre, $16,000 an acre. So really, it depends on the field size and the size of wells you need, what kind of water source you're needing, and yeah. We're going to be about 50-50 on corn and soybeans based on our rotation. Actually, Dad just figured it up today uh, because it seemed like when we were figuring up crops for next year, it seemed like we were kind of heavy on beans, but uh, when Dad actually sat down and figured it up field for field, or actually when he input it all in Pioneer and it comes out with how many acres, we actually have 50, roughly almost 50-50. So, ever shot the idea of a rogator? Yeah, I would love to have a self-propelled spreader. That'd be amazing to have a rogator on the farm, but it is what it is. What in the world do we have here? Okay, let's just go through this. Okay, so I'm going to launch OBS here, but I'm going to throw it up on another screen if I can. If not, I'm going to throw you guys up on another screen. Okay, would you like to run the auto configuration wizard? You can also manually configure your settings by clicking the settings button in the main menu. Yes, we'll just run the auto configure. We will just run current on that, either 60 would prefer. Yeah, we'll just run that. Service, we're going to do YouTube. We'll work on this a little bit later because well, actually, I could do a little bit of it, but okay. So back to live chat here. Sorry about this, guys. Check your phone. Oh dear goodness, what in the world did you send me, Jacob? Oh my goodness, charging cords. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. How many bushels of storage would you need to store corn and beans? 450,000? I would say so, yeah. I would say I would say around 450. Yeah, that'd be about right. Hard to tell on that. I would have to sit down and figure that for sure on that, Clayton. So stream key link, you're live. So how do I do this, guys? Because what I'm trying to figure out is running OBS on YouTube here, but Well, we are closing in on the 2.5 hour mark. What I'm going to do is, guys, I might have a few test streams here tonight just to kind of try and actually picking up audio for me, so that's good. I might have a few test streams on here to kind of see if I can get OBS running. We run Brock, so I might be back on a stream. If I can get OBS running, we might run for like another hour on stream. So if I'm back, I'm back. If I'm not, yeah, I'm just running test streams, and we'll be back tomorrow night. More than likely, Kyle will be with me, so you guys can quiz Kyle on a lot on his operation. Then he doesn't farm; he trucks, so it'll be a little bit different of operation then, or a heck of a lot better. It's getting better. Check your phone. I'll keep me posted on that, Jacob. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. I know you guys really enjoyed talking about everything we talked about tonight. You know, we talked about a heck of a lot of stuff tonight: planters, combines, 8RX, etc. The 8RX video will be out within 4 days. Harvest, hopefully, we'll be back on Saturday. Tomorrow, you know, we're not going to be really doing too much because of this crummy weather that we're having. So, thank you guys for watching again. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to like this stream. Be sure to turn on post notifications. And most of all, I will catch you guys in the next stream. Thank you guys for watching.